Good afternoon and welcome to episode 8 of my daily Courier vlogs. Today, Tuesday the 1st of July, so we're now in the second half of the year. Fantastic, soon be Christmas, eh? Right, so today I just want to touch on first about insurance, courier insurance. Don't want to ramble, but back in the day I mentioned before that I was a London taxi driver, and again, I'm not going to get into, I could do a 4-hour YouTube rant about Uber and the corruption and everything surrounding that company. But one of the things that happened with them, with their drivers, they were uploading their hire and reward insurance certificate onto the Uber app when they was applying to join, and obviously because they had the right insurance, they was accepted. Now, obviously insurance costs vary for everybody, but let's say, for example, the insurance was costing an Uber driver £3,500 a year. By cancelling that insurance and just taking it down to normal third-party fire and theft, it may only cost them £1,000, saving themselves £2,500 a month. Now that's fine, of course, until you get caught. And the only two ways you were going to get caught was by TfL, Transport for London, and one of their inspections officers grabbing you somewhere. But a lot are able to avoid that because of the WhatsApp groups telling everybody that TfL are inspecting private hire vehicles at King's Cross or Paddington or wherever. The other thing was the police, and police ANPR cameras will tell them that the vehicle is insured, but perhaps won't tell them exactly what insurance they've got. And certainly in London anyway, the police are far too busy to worry about stopping a private hire vehicle, just checking if they've got the correct insurance. And because it all went wrong, if they had an accident and a passenger was injured and insurance companies then got involved, of course then there's a big issue. And that did happen, and that happened quite a few times in London. But where this relates to the courier industry, I don't know, and if there's any shippers on here, they might be able to tell us how they check this. But if you've got a small fleet and perhaps you're hiring out one of your CX apps to an owner driver, and that owner driver shows you his hire and reward insurance, how often do you check that he's still got it and he's still valid? Because again, if a courier driver was to cancel the hire and reward bit and just go on to third-party fire and theft, he may be saving himself 200, maybe more, a month. And of course, what does that mean? That means he can lower his costs, and therefore where he's bidding for jobs, instead of trying to bid £1 a mile, he might be happy with 80p a mile. I don't know. I might be right, I might be wrong. But if you know, put something in the comments and see if we can get an idea if that's happening or not. Anyway, on to today, Tuesday the 1st of July. Now this is a strange day. Excuse me. So late last night I got a job from Colchester, 15 minutes from where I live, for 9 o'clock this morning, a long wheelbase job going to Dulwich in London, Southeast 22. Now Dulwich, Southeast 22 would probably be in my top 5 areas I don't want to go to. Getting to Dulwich and traffic is horrific any time of day or night. Anyway, I hadn't got any other jobs that suited or I bid on that I'd got, so I put a price in. It's 66 miles. It is a London delivery, and I'm going to talk about London deliveries another day, but it's going to be a good price going on it. And I put a price of 135, so virtually £2 a mile. Well, it is £2 a mile. No costs apart from the Dartford Bridge at £2.63, and that job got accepted. Now, so it was 9 o'clock pickup, but once the details came through, I've picked up at this place before, to Builders Merchants. I do know they open at 7 o'clock, but I do know that they prefer to load their own vehicles first and then deal with tradesmen, which is probably why they asked for 9 o'clock. However, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I got myself in there at 7:30, went to the trade counter and said very nicely to the lady, I'm super early, but I'm picking this up. And she said, absolutely no problem. Paperwork's here, go and see the guys in the yard and see if they'll get you loaded. So again, super apologetic to the guys in the yard, and they said, yep, no problem, that's your 2 pallets there. So I was loaded strapped down and paperwork in hand, and left at about 10 to 8. Dulwich, 2.5 to 3 hours to get there. Normal traffic congestion, A12, junction M25, Dartford Bridge, A2 going into London, and then the South Circular, which actually took just over an hour to do less than 10 miles, but as expected. Yeah, but anyway, we got on site just before 10:30, and then a great lesson for any newbies coming up: never book a job until you finish the first one, because my load was rejected. The bricks were the right size, but they were wrong density or something. It was a residential building having an extension built. So after a few phone calls between the builders and the company, the load was rejected. I spoke to my boss, and it was all agreed the bricks have to go back. So to be fair to the shipper, he offered to pay me the same fee, 135, going back, but we'd done an agreement in the end. I charged him 120 because obviously the traffic's a little bit lighter in the day, and also when I got back to Colchester, I was going to swap those bricks and blocks over for the correct ones, so I have a job already in the bag for Wednesday, exactly the same job, back down to Dulwich for 135 quid. So a great lesson there. I mentioned it before that I never book another job until I finish the first one. If I had, I've got awkward phone calls to make. Sorry, your pickup you want done in the next hour isn't going to happen. But anyway, there we go. So one job technically, 135 and 120, 255. I'm done, finished for the day. It's still lovely and sunny, so I'm going to take myself home, drop the van off, and have a little walk for 5-10 minutes down to the beach and get myself a nice cup of tea with my book and sit and enjoy the sunshine this afternoon. Hope you have a great day, and we'll talk again tomorrow. All the best now. Cheers, Paul.